Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hello and welcome to Noor's Kitchen. It's the first episode. There's something you guys might not know about me, unless you're one of my OG subscribers, and that is I went to culinary school and I also worked in restaurants. The fact that I went to culinary school is something that I mention a lot, especially to my husband when he complains about my cooking. Something that you guys need to know about quarantine rules is quarantine rules are airport rules. You drink whenever you want to drink. 9 a.m., totally fine. Doesn't it look like she's going, yay, wine, yay, like her head and her arms? She's like, oh, and her boobies. She's like, yay, wine. And then you're like, just stop it, it's not about you. And then you have wine. Cheers, let's pretend that we're all like eating together, you know. You know what it smells like? Bad decisions. I'm pretty much doing the same exact thing that I would do for my shrimp fried rice, except I'm using chicken breast because that's all I have. And you could use anything if you like, any kind of seafood, beef, pork, chicken, bat. My last 2 chicken breasts. We're gonna let that thaw. The next thing you need is rice. I'm using jasmine rice because it's my name. Anyway, step 1 is soak and rinse your rice. I don't measure. I don't like measuring. Never gonna measure. What I do is take a bowl, a big bowl, and I just pour in some rice. We don't measure, we don't care. We do what we do. That seems about enough. So it's about that much. Shimmy, shimmy, shake the rice. You see how it's getting all milky? After rinsing your rice, make sure to spray it with Lysol. I don't have Lysol because I didn't panic buy. Pour it off. I'm putting my hand here in case some rice greens fall. I can catch them, but I'm an expert, so none of them fell. About 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4, about 3 or 4 times. See how you can pretty much kind of see the rice underneath? It's not super duper milky. That's just perfect. I'm gonna show you a grandmother trick, how to make the perfect rice without any measurements. You can always add more water even after you're done cooking, but you can never take it out. So you wanna err on the side of less water. To the line in your finger, that is the maximum over the rice the water should be. I'll show you. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. You wanna shake it so that everything is even, you know? And then you put your finger in. See how it's like to the line? A little bit left. That is perfect. And then I'm gonna turn it on. Hi, you're in my cupboard. For the seasoning, I'm lucky enough that I actually have some fried rice seasoning. If you don't have fried rice seasoning, here are some suggestions that I have for you to makeshift this. Slap your mama. We're quarantined, you might wanna slap your mama. Just kidding. Seasoning salt. Hopefully you have that. You don't have seasoning salt, maybe you have garlic salt. If you don't have garlic salt, maybe you just have regular salt. I don't know why I'm getting angry with you guys. Sorry, the lighting is so bad. I have to do this because if I don't, look at the, look. Okay? So let's just pretend that the sun is shining and I'm actually able to go outside. Just get creative with the spices, okay? Goodbye. Oh my God, I love doing this. Do you guys ever watch that movie Superstar where she's like, you're horrible, horrible, horrible. What are you doing in the closet? Are you ready to come out of the closet? Am I outing you? Are you still there? Come on, come on. All right, so now that you're sufficiently, oh, the rice. We have our rice boiling, so we're gonna give it a stir. Cover it, reduce it to low, 11. All right, perfect. All right, so it's been 11 minutes and let me show you what we're working with. What I do is fluff it up, perfect. Look at that. I don't know if you can see with all this steam. So what I do is I fluff it up, then I let it sit for like the rest of the time, at least 5 minutes. I have some green onions that I chopped up, and I've got 2 eggs scrambled. Usually for like a regular serving, I would only do 1 egg, but I'm doubling everything. I've got 2 chicken breasts, twice as much rice. Probably need 2 packets of seasoning. Do I have more seasoning? Mongolian beef, stir fry. Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, these are my last 2 fried rice seasoning. When I cut up chicken breast, because you know how chicken breast can be kind of like slimy and gross, so I only thaw it just a little bit, so the like when you touch it, it's slightly squishy, but you can tell that it's rock hard in the center. And I use a serrated knife. Very important 2 things. If your chicken is completely thawed out, it'll be much more difficult to get clean cuts, and it'll just take longer to cut through it. But if it's also completely rock frozen, it's gonna be a nightmare to cut through. Put it in cold water in a bowl, like the frozen breast. The amount of time that it takes to cook the rice is how long you need to thaw it out. Does that make any sense? You gotta always wash your hands with raw chicken, because if the corona won't get you, the salmonella will. And I'm gonna cut first strips. See how easy that is? And you get really nice, clean cuts. I'm going to dice this chicken. Hi. Do you hear that? It's frozen in the center. And if you're like vegetarian or vegan or whatever, you could also, if you're vegan, don't use the eggs and then just use tofu or whatever. A serrated knife really helps. If you don't have a serrated knife, just make sure that your knife is really sharp enough to cut a bitch. All right, so I've got a little oil in the pan. This is the same pan that I'm gonna cook everything in. And then here's the chicken that I cut up. I just seasoned it just very simply with salt and pepper. All right, so this is the chicken. It's browned. We've got the rice, nice and steamy, and now I'm going to make the eggs. So I've got some butter in here. Just gonna let that melt. Pan is smoking hot, literally. Drop in the eggs. This is my favorite way to scramble eggs on high heat so that nothing sticks. As you can see, if it's not hot enough, it'll stick. You don't really need a non-stick pan with scrambled eggs. You just need a hot pan. Don't be afraid of the heat, baby. If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand and I'm tipsy. And let's assemble everything. You know what I just realized? These ingredients right here, the chicken breast, the peas and the carrots, you can make a chicken pot pie. If you had milk and flour, you could totally make a pot pie. All you'd have to do is create the roux, which is the white gravy for the pot pie, and then you would create the crust to go on top with the flour and the butter and the milk, and boom. Add in the rice, the eggs, the seasoning, and I'm gonna add in a little bit more oil just to do the fried rice part, just around the edges. Some of the green onion now and some of it later, so we have different textures. And now we just mix. Yeah, I'm gonna add in a little bit of soy sauce now. Add a bit more green onion. I am going to taste it. I don't know if you guys can see can you see the steam? Ooh, hot. Oh my god. It needs a little bit more soy sauce. Oh my god. Perfect. Just a little tip for leftovers: when you want to heat the rice, do not put it back in the skillet to heat it up. Don't. It's what's going to happen is the bottom will get crunchy, and then it'll get mushy, and then you'll feel like you need to add liquid, and then it'll get all soggy. My #1 tip for reheating rice of any kind is take some foil, put in the amount that you want, wrap it up completely and seal it, put it in the oven. I use a toaster oven, and put it in there for, I'd say 375 for about 15 to 18 minutes. And then once the oven goes off, let it sit in the oven for an additional 2 to 5 minutes to the heat will rise and it'll steam through. And then when you open it up, it'll be perfectly steamed rice with no additional mushiness. You'll retain the texture from the first time you cooked it. So that's a little chef's tip. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to make more cooking videos, let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to do it. I cook all the time. I live in the middle of nowhere, so I have to cook. And also, I went to culinary school. I'm thinking I'm gonna call it Noor's Chaotic Kitchen or Noor's Crazy Kitchen. Which one do you think? Maybe Noor's Crazy Kitchen? I don't know, you tell me. But that's it. Happy quarantining, everyone. And remember that struggle meals do not have to be nasty meals. You can eat well during the struggle. You just have to be creative. And I wasn't even that creative. So, you know, there's that.
Hope you guys like my cooking.